It's a long haul.
I know my oldest used to live in Colorado. They used to live up the street from on the way up.
Right. Have to.
All right, everyone, thank you for coming. I'd like to first call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Board of Works meeting for September 21st, 2020. Mr. Fetty, can I get a roll call, please?
Sure can. We got Board Member Tony Abbott. Here. Board Member Tommy Roulette.
Present.
We got City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
And we got the new Utility Director, Billy Kennett.
Here.
And President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
All right, I don't have any announcements for Board of Works meeting. Either one of you two?
Have nothing, Mayor.
I have nothing.
Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. For this particular meeting, I have no new and old business, either of you.
Nope.
If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry.
That might
Thank
be a
you.
record.
That is the quickest board work
1 minute.
I've seen.
I was getting ready to say, I kind of like them.
We'll have Board of Work, we'll have some items on the Board of Works next meeting. We got a couple coming.
Always Board of Works, Utility, or Playground, and then Common Council.
Tell these guys aren't paid by the hour.
It's all about the money.
I said we're not paid by the hour.
What we really need is more of these.
Oh,
I don't have any.
We don't have it.
Justin, you're slipping.
Out?
Brett.
Stas is gone.
Last one. That was in my bag left over from last meeting.
He's having that's
that-
our main food source.
Justin Knopperts, that's his
Water.
I
responsibility.
know, I got them both,
Yes,
and
it
neither
is,
one of them
actually.
come up
Put a
with them.
requisition in to order another.
We're all on a diet.
Every councilman from the second district has to buy the mints.
That's right.
Well, Billy's got a popcorn machine.
I'll make that motion.
Let Billy make popcorn for the next one. All right. All right, I'd like to call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Utility Board meeting for September 21st, 2020. Could I get a roll call, Mr. Petty?
Yes. Board Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Board Member Justin Noppert.
Yes, sir.
Board Member Tommy Roulette.
Present.
Board Member Lenny Fryman.
Present?
Board Member Brett Bondurant.
Yes, sir.
City Attorney Del Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Billy Kennett.
Here.
President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, before I let Billy take over for announcements, I'd just like to, this is Billy's first utility board meeting, I guess,
Yep.
since being brought to town, so welcome, Billy. I know he's been drinking out of a fire hose for the last 3 or 4 weeks, but any announcements, Billy?
Yeah, I'd like to go through a couple of things just to let you know some of the things that we are working on. We did, it was my second day, I believe it was here, and or maybe second week. We had an outage between the 2 substations, and pretty significant number of customers out. And so we've been doing some due diligence, some testing. We've had the guys walk the lines twice trying to find a fault. We can't find anything, which is pretty unordinary when you have a fault that trips out all 3 phases like that. We've been working with IMPA to track down the outage and trying to learn as much as we can about it. Through the walkthroughs, we didn't find anything. We've looked at the undergrounds and the transfer cabinets, and we just can't find anything. It knocked 2 fuses out over at the substation. And so, you know, I told the mayor, usually when you have an outage like that, it rears its head again, but thank goodness we haven't done that. So just wanted to bring you up to speed. We are being proactive to try to prevent another occurrence from happening on that. And we're not finished testing yet. We want to test some of the underground, you know, and do some further due diligence on that. Financial reporting, we've made some changes internally. We're working very closely with the city and with Mr. Fetty on how we're assigning invoices to certain accounts. We've changed the process of what LMU was doing to make it fit more with the city, so we're more in sync with all of that. It just makes sense with Diane doing the accounting for both LMU and the city to follow common procedures. We have 3 points of accountability for all financial transactions, and we are everyone that signs that accountability for the transactions is responsible for making sure that the cost gets into the right bracket of the accounting. So wanting to do our due diligence to make sure we're doing the right things and we're accounting for the money in the right ways. We are also working with the mayor to come up with some financial reports to make it more transparent to the board as far as, our monthly costs. We're going to create a scorecard so that we can measure what we pay like IMPA, and then what our expenses are and what our revenue is against that, so we can see how much money we have at the end of each month. So all good stuff, things that we're working on. It takes a little bit of time because we have to dig into all that, but again, just want to bring that openness, that transparency to the board. The electric meter testing, y'all approved that in the last meeting. We're going to take it one step farther because there's some, we believe there's some issues with certain customers under certain rates. We're going to check so not only are we going to check the meters, but also there's going to be a checklist to check the rates, and we're going to take pictures of the meters. Those are all things that can go into our system. So we'll have better accountability for each one of the meters. So not just testing the meters, but also checking our system while we're doing it, just to make sure that everything is correct in there. That is all I have at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I would just like to say, thank you, Bill. Seems like you're really moving forward, and I really do appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. If no other announcements for this meeting, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I don't believe there was any new or old agenda items for this meeting, Bill, I don't believe.
No.
Anyone think of anything we'd forgotten that we look back, we didn't have any old business either?
The only thing I remember bringing up is all of us to look into the summer sewer program last meeting, but we've got plenty of time for that.
Yeah, obviously, we've got some time for that, but I think everybody was in favor of that, so it shouldn't be too difficult to come up with either, Tommy, I don't think.
I think we were talking about also some meter replacements on the water side as well, were we not? Was that kind of on the agenda as well? Or are we still looking at, are they all kind of out of date, or is that something that we're just going to evaluate them on an individual basis?
Yeah, they're all out of date as far as their useful life of what we have. So we're in the process, due to the amount of the purchase, of filling out bid forms to take it out for bid on that. So it'll be a little bit of a delay getting started. We wanted to jump right in and get started on it before the weather changes, but just due to the nature of the cost, we decided to take a step back and put it through the bid process. So we're in the process of writing the bid documents right now for that.
So you just request for a bid from companies, and that's just the meter portion that goes in the pit?
Right. Yeah, and it has the radio portion of it as well that communicates up to the meter read.
Okay.
He's worried about weather. I told him he's been gone for 20 years from here. This is the kind of weather we have year-round now down here. Winter, there's no winter. Right?
Don't say
a word.
You just jinxed
I
that.
jinxed
Now
it,
we're
didn't
gonna
I?
have 6 foot of snow.
Sorry, guys. I'm sorry about that. All right. If no other business, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So move.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and a motion to adjourn, please.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right. Next thing I'd like to do is open up the call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Common Council meeting for September 21st, 2020. All stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Mr. Fetty, roll call, please.
Here we go again. Councilperson Tony Abbott.
Here.
Councilperson Justin Knopper.
Yes, sir.
Councilperson Tommy Roulette.
Present.
Councilperson Lenny Fryman.
Present.
Councilperson Brett Bondurant.
Yes, sir.
We got City Attorney Dale Weldon.
Here.
We got Utility Director Billy Kennett.
Here.
Mayor Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, announcements, board reports, streets, alleys, and curbs for downtown, Mr. Abbott.
I've got one thing. The street lights from the swimming pool to Front Street are out. I was
Street
going down the
lights.
street last night, and I went by the dollar store, and 2 people walked in front of me, and I've barely seen them. So, is there something we can do? I've brought this up before. The police used to do it, then the utility department was doing. Who marks these street lights that are out? Because I don't know anything about it unless I see it or some resident complains about it, and that could be 2 weeks before somebody complains.
Well, I know Mario goes around in the mornings and ties a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree, but
Yeah, could we?
each one of them, and then that gives Mike Harper's group an idea which ones are out.
Can we say something to the police department, because they're out at night, and they're the ones that see it, and they just tie a little yellow ribbon around it,
Yep.
but all of them are out from the swimming pool all the way to Front Street. That was last night.
Well, we can have a little better communication, I think.
Yep.
Yeah.
But
So we
that's,
might want to check with Chief Snyder and see if he can get his officers to report those, so we have a list maybe. That'd be even easier
Yeah,
if they
and-
would report which streets.
alrighty. And then last week, we had a complaint about the alleys between Arch Street and St. Clair, I guess. And Mario and Mike figured out what that problem was, and that's being taken care of.
Oh, the
Smell.
The odor.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
That's all I got.
All right, streets, alleys, and curbs on Ludlow Hill, Mr. Fryman.
Yeah, the light that was out on 48, they fixed that. There was 3 of them right by the, excuse me, by the fire station. And I don't know if they got that done or not. They said it was short or something there, and they was working on that. And then down by the park, by the pond down underneath, they took the grate and they put rocks and stuff around to keep the mud from going down in it. Done a real good job up there. So everything's good.
Good. Okay, finance, Mr. Bondurant.
Nothing to report, Mayor.
Parks and playgrounds, Mr. Knopper.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I was talking with Mr. Todd this week regarding the handicap swing that the Legion had donated to Greendale, Hidden Valley, and one to our city. And we actually pleased to report that they did get some of the foundation for that started up at the up at that playground, and we're able to put it in a location that was inclusive, kind of closer to the other park. That was some concern with just the footprint that it was going to require, and we will be able to also comply with ADA regulations with that as well. So that's going to be a big plus up there to be able to have a specialty swing that you can actually wheel it's my understanding that you can actually wheel a wheelchair onto it and kind of latch in.
Yep.
So we got a few little things we got to consider in regards
This is
to.
Ludlow Hill Park, correct?
Correct. Yep, up next to the Big Orange, the new one that we just opened up. A few things to navigate in regards to, access and, making sure that it's safe for, there's other kids aren't climbing around on it and such, but, we all know how we were when we were younger, so. But yeah, it's a police report that's underway, and we're gonna be moving forward and kind of getting that ready to go. So thanks again to the Legion.
Good. Anything else?
I got a question. Are they gonna have to put a fence and stuff around it?
Yeah.
Is it gonna be locked up, or does anybody know?
It'll have to have a fence around it, and it's just my understanding that, from Mr. Todd, this also, the surface is gonna have to be some type of fall protection in regards to how thick it is, the foam, but they're also be able to wheel across the foam, so it's not gonna be too spongy. So, yeah, there's a little bit to navigate on, the functionality of it and how we're gonna maintain it, so we're working through that.
Yeah, there's a lot of ADA requirements that, actually, Greendale's been holding off on doing theirs as well because, we were all a little bit, confused, I think, and we hadn't talked to anybody that really had installed one. And then we seen the video, and I watched the video with them, and quite a bit to it, actually.
It seems pretty extensive about what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it's getting done.
Mm-hmm.
Getting done. Okay. Anything else? Fire, Tom Roulette.
Nothing to report, Mayor.
All right, sir. I got two other things I'd like to bring up. Mr. Gailey has asked, and I gave him approval, but I don't think you guys have any problem with it, but it's not really a business item. But for Veterans Day, they usually have veterans programs at each of the schools. Well, in light of COVID, they were asking if they were going to get lists and pictures of the kids that they would have normally had their loved one or whoever there. They're going to, and wanted to know if we would post them on our electronic signs. So sort of what we did with the seniors, and then we did with 4-H folks. So I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, that's cool.
And so you'll be seeing that up and around Labor Day or Veterans Day.
Yeah.
So some other way of making it happen. So
Yeah.
he was very appreciative.
Yeah, that's great.
Just want to make you guys aware of that. And then this weekend is the last of summer events, so to speak. Friday and Saturday, Lawrenceburg Fall Music Fest. And I'd like to invite each one of our elected officials up on stage approximately 7 o'clock on Friday night. I'd like to let Lenny show us his dance moves, since I heard he's been the resident dancer.
Is he
You'll be
gonna sing?
disappointed, Mayor. My knees are bad, so I don't know how much dance. I can't do the moonwalk.
Well,
But he can sing, Kelly.
Well, he can sing, we know that, we know that. But if you could let me know if you cannot make it, but if you have another obligation, I understand, or whatever the case may be, but I'd like to introduce you guys if you're available.
Mayor?
If you got, and don't forget to get your badge, because you won't get backstage without one.
I will not be able to attend.
Okay?
Lawrenceburg's playing out of town at Batesville.
Where are they playing? Batesville? Well, you're fortunate, though. We're having this weekend, because usually I always went to Batesville's football game from monsoon. It was raining. And we're not going to get any rain. So you'll have a good night. Lawrenceburg, they'll do well.
Well, he jinxed us with snow, now he just jinxed us with rain.
Might as well have done a rain dance. We need it. We need it, rain. Man.
Oh, we do. Yeah, you're right. You're right. So, but if you can let me know if anybody else, run up to something, can't make it, let me know. So I'll give you guys a shout out for sure. And Billy, you're more than welcome to join us. I'd like to introduce you to the crowd and community that night if you can. Anyway, approximately 7 o'clock, a little bit before if you could, just meet up by the stage. Okay, that's all and don't forget about the car show Saturday morning. Should be a decent amount of cars here again. Any other announcements, guys?
But you want to make an announcement about the Halloween trick or treat?
Yes,
No,
good one. Yes, Halloween will be on Mario Todd's birthday, October 31st. It's my grandpa's birthday too. But from 6 to 8 in Lawrenceburg. 6 to 8. Everybody go to Lenny's house. He gives out good candy.
Everybody come on up, because I always sit out there and I got.
It's got a $5 bill attached to every candy bar.
I'm taking that collection from you, Mayor.
Yeah, you're not gonna get much. Okay, any other announcements? Thanks, Tony, for reminding me.
No, I don't have any.
Okay, I'll entertain then a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
I'll
So
make a
moved.
motion.
I'm sorry. I'll second it. Lenny first.
Lenny's first, Tommy second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Committee reports, I'm not sure, I didn't see, did Chief
I did not
Tremaine-
receive anything from Fire
I don't
EMS.
think, I think
I didn't either.
he didn't get one out this time, but, you guys can stop and talk and see them
Right.
anytime. New business, I've got a couple of things on here. Agner Hall rates, you've seen in your packet, obviously, Agner Hall gets rented out, and Mr. Fetty can vouch for this, but months and months and months and months in advance. It's the cheapest rental around, right? We're finding that we've had to make a lot of improvements over there over the last 3 to 4 years. And then, we bought all new tables and chairs, had to put a new walk-in cooler in, new siding, everything else, and hadn't raised the rates in quite some time. So we're proposing that the rates get raised, I believe it's not until January of 2021 is when we're gonna raise the rates. Let me, if I can find out where they are. That's the only thing that's different that I'm aware of, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Fetty, but you will now go, if you're a current full-time employee, we used to only charge, I think, $50 plus the refundable deposit. Now will be $161 plus the refundable deposit. Nonprofits will be a daily rate of $150 plus a $200 refundable deposit. And then anyone else, it's $375 per day with a deposit of $200 be required. This is in line, actually still under what quite a few of the other venues in the area are. We're just we're not trying to make money on this. We're trying to do the best to break even, because we got to send people over to clean it up every weekend, sometimes twice a weekend.
Yes.
That involves overtime and other things. Was there anything I'm missing, Mr. Fetty?
No, I think you spelled out the important parts as far as the changes or anything on it.
Mayor, if I may?
Yes.
I'd like to see if we could add one thing.
Yes.
Talking to Brittany pertaining to employee and whatnot, she had stated that usually you are only allowed using that one time a year.
Uh-huh.
Could we maybe add number 19, the state employee rate can only be utilized one time per year in there as well, so that's
Yeah, it doesn't say it in here, does it?
No,
Not
this
that I seen,
contract
no.
didn't say it.
Are you guys all, how do you feel about that?
That's all right with me, because, sometimes other residents might ask our employees, can you rent this for me?
I know that was happening.
That's going to happen, so.
I mean, we
Imagine that.
understood that was happening, you're right. So, number 19 would be, full-time employees, ex-elected officials and retirees may only, use the, Agner Hall at, the employee daily rate of $161 plus a $200 deposit, one time
Time a
per
year.
calendar year.
Yes.
That makes sense?
Yes.
We can
Yes.
get that changed on there.
Okay. Yeah, we can add that in. We'll get to that tomorrow.
And the only, I got one more question.
Yes,
I'm sure we've got people already in 2021 on the calendar. What do we do for them? I mean, they have not, they've
They've
just
not paid
held
it.
it that right, so we can.
we're calling them.
Call them and let them know that.
2021, nothing this year. This is
Yeah,
for the first
for
of the
remainder
year.
of this year, we're holding to
Right.
what we had, but anybody that's called to reserve it for April of 2021, we're calling them and
Call,
telling
yes.
them with the new rates.
Because all they've actually done is reserved it, they've not
Yes.
fulfilled the contract. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, that's all I have.
Anything else?
Tommy, did you mention anything about the cattle barn? I mean,
No, I did not. That's something that Brittany also brought up.
Yeah, she also brought that
About
up.
separating the cattle barn from it so it could be rented as well as Agner Hall.
Well,
That affect
in
was
light
it?
of COVID, we've been getting a lot more calls. I know
That's
I
why,
have.
that's why I brought it up, because we're getting calls
To
on
rent
that.
out
Good point.
the cattle barn. I mean, it's a great space, right? For people. I'm open, if you guys want to make that a separate rental agreement or rental item on here, I'm all for it. It's whatever you guys want to do with that. It will get rented. I'm sure of it.
Do we implement it into this, or we?
Yeah,
keep it
no, we can
completely separate?
implement it into this. Couldn't we just,
I think we could just add, you know, or
Make
City
it
of
a
Lawrenceburg,
20.
Agner Hall, or,
/ cattle barn rental
yeah,
and put a price in there.
You could put them, you saying putting them together
yeah,
as one rental for the both of them?
no.
No,
Okay,
separate.
all right,
Separate.
okay, that's,
It could be a separate, you know, we'll put in a separate line item to address the cattle barn. Because all you're gonna get with the cattle barn is what you get, the open area and electricity.
and there's, and if the bathrooms are open across by the park.
Yeah, and those bathrooms are open out
Yeah.
over by the shelters.
And that's one thing Brittany said, generally, if they do rent that, they make sure that they let the civil city know to go over and unlock them.
So we just add another line in here to,
Do we have a price on that?
yeah, what kind, you wanna keep, what's pricing at, what do you wanna?
I mean, currently, we're just letting people use it, or is that how we're?
Very,
is that how we're doing it?
we've had 2 or 3 people ask
Right.
during COVID, and
Yeah.
we just, we let them use it.
I know, like Voices of Indiana, they're using, it's Tuesday nights, and you know, it's been a huge benefit for them, because they can
Yeah.
distance and still do their practice, and they're not adding any expense to us, really, utilizing that facility.
It's really not costing us anything if they use electric, right?
Well,
Couple dollars.
you'd be surprised at how much damage gets done to the yard and things like that when people are over there, and if they, you know, have a party or whatever. And
I mean, could we take a
We don't charge
deposit
them
on
any.
it if people want to use it, and then we take,
Sorry?
could we take a deposit on it if
Yeah.
people want to use it, and then take the money out of deposit if there's any damage or any cleanup?
you want to do it for free?
Maybe just the Lawrenceburg residents?
You still gotta have people go over on overtime to clean up afterwards, garbage cans.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If there's any cleanup, then just like Agner Hall, we
Yeah,
require
but
them to
who's
clean
gonna
it.
go over and check on a Saturday if they used it on Friday?
Yeah, no, that's,
You know, that kind of thing.
Okay.
That's what we're trying to get, I mean, we're paying overtime to go clean these places back up. Trying to keep them nice, you know, things like that. Now, the cattle barn's a new one, so, you know, I'm open to whatever.
well, I'm just thinking more smaller events that where there's not going to be any footprint. The people just show up and then they leave. They're not bringing lunches and anything like that. Not like a meeting, like they're setting tables up. Just, I don't know.
But I could see people wanting to have a wedding
Sure.
reception there.
It'd be a good spot for it.
I mean, yeah, heck yeah.
Outdoor, yeah.
Well, what if we, you know, you say in overtime, what if we just put a $200 deposit, and if they clean it up, they get the money back? If they don't, then you keep the deposit.
But how are we gonna know to send somebody over there on a Saturday when it's all, got garbage all over the place and keeping the raccoons out till we come back on Monday? It's a problem. I mean,
Yeah.
it would be a problem. It will be a problem unless you have somebody go check on it.
Sure.
And we, you know, I think it'd be best if we charge something.
Do $50
And then we
rental
would
at the,
just have somebody go over and
Yeah.
clean it up automatically on Saturday, because it's gonna happen. I'd rather, I don't want things, you know, that fairgrounds is a pretty nice shape.
yeah.
It is.
We
Yeah.
don't want garbage strewed all over the place.
Mike, what would be a reasonable fee to charge? I mean, it's out in the
I
open.
would look at, cause there's gonna be Saturday nights, it's only going for on Sunday, double time. I would look at least 2 hours of double time as a minimum.
That's $120.
Closer to 100, yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty high, don't it?
Well, I mean, yeah, just for
Cattle
that,
barn.
you're just getting a covered area, so.
What about the tent? I want to rent the tent.
Yeah, that tent's nice over there. We got a nice tent over there, everybody. Yes, ma'am.
Am I allowed to say anything at this point? Oh,
About the tent?
what, no, about the cattle barn.
Yeah.
In general, I'm What about like a difference in the rate on a weeknight versus a weekend?
We try to get, they got enough to do over at the clerk treasurer's office to, you know, then when they call, you have to explain all that stuff, and it's a
Trying to keep it
process.
simple.
We don't make any money on this,
Okay.
and this is just a gift to the community, even at these rates.
I'm just thinking like the choirs who are practicing or whatever, they would pay less, but they're there on a weeknight. Or somebody's not having to come overtime to look at whether they made a mess.
Well, and, you know, who knows what-
Somebody having a wedding there on Friday or Saturday.
This is the first year we've ever been asked about the cattle barn, simply because of what situation we're in, right?
Right.
So who knows what next year will bring? It could be nothing or more.
And was the Indiana, was the choir group, Justin, you just said?
Yeah.
Young
What's the-
voices.
Yeah, so
Voices of
they're
Indiana.
already, they're already grandfathered in anyway for the rest of the year, because we ain't changing the
Yeah.
rates for
For
the
this
Iger
year,
Hall until
yeah.
next year.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
And like, I'm just thinking of groups, like, I'm not thinking about groups that are setting up tables, because it is a great place for a wedding reception outdoor. You can set up tables, but, I mean, a group like Voices of Indiana, who there's literally, they're showing up there, they have their bottles of water in their hand, and they're singing, and then they're leaving. I mean, it's just,
Right.
I love to have that to be available to them, just like if they wanted to use Civic Park. You know, they could sing in Civic Park, you know, but just having that covered area and not being a, you know, financial burden to a lot of these groups that are, you know, nonprofit and they're not, you know,
What about the
revenue producing.
pavilion of the swimming pool? That's always available too.
That'd be a great option for them.
Feature system.
Yeah. Is that available for
You guys
rent?
wanna think about, we
Yes,
got time
it's
to think about the
available.
cattle barn,
Rent or
because
for free?
Well,
it's
nothing-
free for
Whatever you
us.
guys
This
want
way,
to do,
yeah,
it's available for rent, it's very
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah.
I don't remember how much it was, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
city council
for
wanted
the rest of
to
this
use
year,
it
the
for
rates
free.
aren't changing
Let them
until
use it.
January
Okay.
1.
Who brought that cattle
So
barn up?
let me ask you, okay, we put the cattle barn piece off till a different time, and then we can think about how you guys wanna address that?
Sure.
But for tonight, if you're okay with the way this is written, except we're adding the piece about only able to use it one time, if you're a city official or ex-elected official, retiree, or full-time employees. Can I get a motion to approve the City of Lawrenceburg Agner Hall rules and regulations?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. The other one I have is just want to make sure you guys are aware and get your approval. The Whiskey City Festival is not going to be going on this year, except they are going to have the 5K run and walk on Saturday, November 7th, and they'd like to ask permission to use the trail for that.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay, that's the only ones I have. Mr. Fetty, we're tabling the perf.
Yes, I'd like to, you know, just coming in with some new information and a few other things. And what I'd like to do is kind of get a little bit better information from Dell, and maybe he can reach out to somebody to find out a little bit more information on this. But I'd like to table this
Okay.
at the present time.
Old Ratty.
Yeah, I would
Thank-
like for Dell to get back with us on this.
Okay.
Yeah.
You need a
Right.
motion on that?
Yes.
Yeah, we need a motion to table.
Yeah, I'll move that we table it.
I'll
Okay.
second.
Second? Brett?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Weldon, salary ordinance amendment.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Please, Common Council for the City of Lawrenceburg, what you have in your packets is a proposed ordinance to amend the current salary ordinance, which is 16-2019. This is to adjust the rate of our utility director, and it's broken down into weekly pay to be consistent with all the other parts of the current salary ordinance.
And we're on number 10 now.
10, okay, thank you.
10?
10, yes.
And while we're at it, this is just an aside, but is everyone okay with how their names look on the signature lines? I just want to make sure they're correct.
Yep.
You good, Brad?
Yep.
I'd
I'm
prefer a
fine.
little different font on mine.
Font, okay, yeah. You got it, man. Italics, bold,
Work on that, okay?
underline.
We'll work on that one. Okay. Any questions about that? Due to multiplication, it comes out to as agreed upon salary.
And Brittany did the math, so you guys, just to let you know, I didn't do it. So it's
good,
correct.
good, I
It's
checked.
right if she does it.
40 cents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get that out of it.
Yeah.
Now, the vehicle, since it's no more car allowance anymore, that came from Civil City, the LMU bought that from Civil City?
Hasn't yet, I haven't brought it to your thing yet, because I'm trying to get a good price on it, rather than, the price they gave me was what they had originally paid for it, and I didn't want that, that wasn't right. And so I'm getting a price out of it before I bring it to you guys, because I'll have to ask your permission to do that. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, the gist of it will be utilities will buy that from Civil City
Okay.
as their asset. Okay, anything, that's a good question. Any other questions on this ordinance? If not, I'd like to ask for a motion for approval on ordinance number 10-2020, and I ask that if it's in a unanimous vote, that it would be approved and passed in one vote tonight.
I'll
Yes,
make
sir,
a
I'll make
motion
that
to
motion.
approve.
Motion, Brett.
Oh, second?
Second, Tony. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Billy, you can't vote for your own.
Right.
Put your hands down.
He's over in my ear saying, "Forward, forward."
Yeah, he did. Bellbone Lenny over here. All right, thanks, guys. Okay, the next one, Dell, is the ordinance and dedication survey.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor. If it pleases Common Council for the City of Lawrenceburg, what you have in your packets is proposed ordinance 20-2020, and this is an ordinance to dedicate a certain portion of City of Lawrenceburg real property. This is the second in a series. If you recall, at the first meeting in September, we did a vacation ordinance with vacation plats to vacate a certain part of what's called Dowdy Road. Essentially, the end result will be to move that cul-de-sac to the west. If you look at the end of this ordinance, you'll see what's been marked as Exhibit A, which is the plat outlining the new location of the Dowdy Road cul-de-sac. This is in conjunction, obviously, with some projects that are going on in that area. The reason we did the vacation ordinance for the two parcels last time was because that property was at some point part of 50, and part of it was kind of owned by NDOT, so we had to go through a vacation process to vacate that property. Now we go through a dedication process for the new area. This will complete that project. If it's approved tonight, then this will actually be a recordable document that we'll record with Dearborn County. One of the things we did last time, which I'll ask you to do again if you do approve this ordinance, is just to stop by Kelly Brookbank's office. They changed the statute this year. I think they're gonna fix it because it's kind of a mistake, but now in the state of Indiana, in order to record a property document, you have to have a witness section and a notary section, which is pretty redundant. It's just, I think they wrote the statute wrong. Most people agree with that. So they'll probably fix it. It's just, it's gotta be notarized and witnessed, et cetera. Kelly Brookbank's a notary. So if you guys can just stop in anytime this week, sign it, and like I said, we'll get it recorded, and this will be a new area for the City of Lawrenceburg. Mike Clark is here as well to answer any questions that you guys might have, and Mike, as always, has done an incredible job on this project.
Questions?
Are we doing this, Mike, so that he can have more room for the restaurant? Is that part of it, or?
He's got a master plan for the whole
Oh, I
area,
know.
but yes, the diner is part of this. So, and he wants to tie everything together.
Yep.
So he needs that relocated about 300 feet to the west.
Hey, the man's doing one heck of a job
Yes,
down
he is,
there in that
absolutely.
area. It's gonna be
Cleaned up
nice.
nicely,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Real nice.
Very nice, especially
Transformed
with
it.
the new Low Miller building to the side.
Yeah.
That little area is very nice looking now.
Sure is.
It's also good for the city. I mean, this was infrastructure that we were maintaining, but it was kind of in by NDOT, kind of not. This cleans up any of those old issues where now it's clear that, we own this full and free and clear. It's moved over, so it's gonna help a little bit. Mike can tell you with just the general streets, alleys, and curbs over there. So it's good for the city in general, but also for that project.
Be cheaper to maintain as
Just
well,
to maintain.
Yes.
shortening it up.
So what's this ordinance number? Did I miss that?
11,
11.
right?
11?
Okay, so any questions before we go on to this one? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 11-2020. The motion would be to approve, what do you call it? To vote and approve tonight, based upon a unanimous vote.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Yes, sir?
I'd also like to ask that someone
No.
make a motion and second
Was it on the agenda?
to, yeah, it is.
He's gonna ask to plant some trees. Leave him alone.
Oh, that's why he's your friend now, huh?
To certify the survey plat, because we've got a separate survey plat, which is the same as the last sheet in this
Yeah.
ordinance. But I need council to certify that, so we can go ahead and get that
Okay.
taken care of.
I need a motion to certify the survey plat for the, that goes and coincides with ordinance, number 11-2020.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No trees along that cul-de-sac, right?
Right.
Tony, that was your chance. That was your chance, Tony.
Sorry, Tony.
That was wrong.
We'll get him on the master plan.
Yeah.
There we go. You guys know, whenever you see survey plats like this, I mean, most survey plats look the same, but because it's a recordable document, you know, Justin knows this obviously because that's his area, but it's a document that is signed on behalf of the city as an entity. So sometimes we'll vote to certify those in a meeting if it's a dedication or something that's very formal. Sometimes the mayor will sign them on your behalf whenever there's a transfer of property and there's a plat. But when it's a new plat, then we certify that through a vote.
Before we go on to anything else, I just want to make sure that City Court Judge Joe Johns did put his report into the packet, so I just want to make sure you guys got that. Any other new business? I don't have any. Any old business? I don't have any.
Nope.
How about comments from the audience? Yes, ma'am.
Could you state your name, ma'am?
Thinks about it all week just to get.
This came up just today. Jean Fouch, Pribble Road. On behalf,
On Pribble Road.
right next to where you used to live, and it was real quiet. On behalf of Tri Kappa, we rent Egner Hall 2 times a year. There won't be a one-time thing on nonprofits, right? Okay, so
Right
we
now,
can
we're
still do
just
2.
gonna say city employees.
And we have, currently, we leave our $50 deposit like roll over, so you have $50 of our money. So when I come to rent it the first time next
That's the
year,
deposit.
we'll just have to pay $150 more? Is it gonna be $200 deposit for nonprofits?
Well,
Whatever
Whatever it
we're
says.
charging you the same
Yes,
as
$200
employees,
deposit
right?
for nonprofits, yes.
Okay,
Charging the same as employees?
yes, yeah.
Right, and it's a $200 deposit, but
okay.
it'll be the,
And we'll just leave that roll too after we give that to you. And then it's $150 though each time, right?
Correct.
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
Okay.
So your deposit you have on is just $50?
$50, yeah, that's
How
what
long
we
you
get.
been renting this?
Forever. We have 2 bingos a year.
38 years.
That's why it's
Got
$50.
a long time, yeah. It's been a long time, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, so will you just keep our
Longaberger
50
Bank.
Yeah,
and
that's
not,
fine.
and we don't have to pay more?
How come we never get invited to that?
You're all, hey, your wife comes every year.
I don't get
You don't get invited. Last time there was 1 man, I think.
I don't
It's
think
just
that should make-
women.
I think we all ought to maybe show our support and go to the
Yeah.
Longaberger basket
Well, now that we're
bingo.
charging
Are
them
you
more.
gonna buy one?
No, the bingo, you gotta play bingo.
And you win.
Oh,
I'm sure you all want a Longaberger basket. You all want some Pampered Chef or something,
Oh,
right?
yeah, yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
we give away.
Tupperware.
Okay,
Christmas time when you
And then-
That's
The
scary.
thing I texted you about earlier in the week about the park, that got looked into and,
Yeah, I got Snyder taking a look at that.
okay, good. All right.
Yeah, we had, just so you know, we had, there's been some chatter about some bullies up at Ludlow Hill Park. And, some other nonsense going on at the playground piece, some older kids, so,
Foul language,
yeah, I got Chief
cussing at
Snyder
little
looking at
kids.
some certain, dates and times, just to see if we can maybe see who the,
Okay.
We need playground mothers, like we did in the old days.
oh, I just don't understand
I
it.
can't believe that one with Lenny up on the hill.
Rudolph, you couldn't say one bad word.
That's happening on your block.
Beat you
But
up
I'm
for
going
it
either.
too, though. I go up there quite
Yeah,
a bit.
I don't see anything, so that's,
I haven't seen it
Yeah,
when
we're
I've been
looking
there
at it,
either,
Pete.
but I saw it on a Facebook stream, people were posting about it. And it was, like, the first person posted, but then like 5 other people chimed in and said, oh yeah, the same thing happened to my kids, and we just left.
Yeah, and I wish, really, I hope people do come forward and tell us when
Yeah.
this stuff is happening, because we've had vandalism in all of our parks.
Yeah.
And I think in order to stop that, we gotta catch it, nip it in the bud, and I think as, parents notice, a certain group of kids or whatever that are up to maybe no good, we can address that. I know we did run some off after curfew about a week and a half ago, up at Ludlow Hill. But all of our parks we've had some reports of bullying and stuff like that. Arch Street, we had it. I know, I went to a parent meeting last year at Arch Street. Tony, you were there too, but, there's no need for it.
no, we try to keep it nice
Yeah,
for everybody, and
exactly.
like I said, he rides up there, and I know I do. I'm up there practically every day, but I haven't seen anything.
I can't get
like
Lenny
that,
off
so.
the slide.
Yeah,
Well, we take our grandkids once in a while, and we haven't had any problem either,
Yeah.
but the things they were saying were going on were kind of alarming to me,
Yeah,
the thing on the tower.
I agree.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
Any other comments?
oh, I'd like to say something about it.
No, you're not the audience.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead.
but the pond in the front, because I know we've said something about it isn't moss, you say, it's like
Duckweed.
duckweed, but now they've got it from the back, there's nothing back in the back pond, but the front pond's got, what would you say? Is it half, third? Yeah,
And Toby knows this, you gotta stay after the duckweed is what I'm told. Yes. Before it'll clear up, and my understanding is they are. Now, I know it seems like it's taking a little longer than most, but,
Yeah.
because the back pond always used to get it.
it's clean.
Yeah, it's clean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Don't they add chemical to that, or what did they put, something in there?
Some kind of a chemical to it, Tommy, yeah.
In the back pond?
Any of them, whenever
Oh,
it
yeah.
does it.
I'm sorry, I don't know what it is, what they.
I mean, it has massive aerators, which is great. The fountains are great to try to keep that stuff
Right.
down, but there's something that's growing with that front pond that's.
Yeah. So,
We take a rowboat up there and
I
take
could
it
go
out.
up there with a seine, like we're seining fish, for not probably for minnows and
I would
stuff.
pay to see
We
that
mean,
you and
just
him
go
in a
inside
rowboat
and just
together.
Go around and clean it out.
go ahead.
Well, you gotta go with me.
Me too. Okay, we can do that. All right, any other comments? Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
I'll make a motion.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and need a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion too. I always like that part.
Second, Tony usually jumps on that one.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the Twinkie brothers this second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
Oh, Lord.
Jealousy will get you nowhere.
Tell him, Tommy. Tell
Mr.
him.
Kenneth, they're all this sweet.